Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all having a good weekend and that you're managing to get in a bit of crafting. Now, as you can see from all these piles of bags here in front of me, I have been trying to sort out my fabric scraps, and I've also decided that I'll go ahead and I'll recommence Scrap Saturday that I was doing there about 4 months ago. I think this will be Scrap Saturday number 6, and it's dealing with fabric scraps, because if you're anyway like me, you'll have bags of small fabric scraps, long narrow fabric scraps, medium fabric scraps, and lots of bits of lace, ribbon, buttons, all this kind of stuff that we accumulate and that's kind of left over after we've done projects. So I was wondering what to do with it. And then a while back, I saw a video on Instagram by a lady called Vilma. Her Instagram name is Teacup and Roses. Now wait a minute, I'll show you. Let me remove this rubbish. Anyway, her name is Vilma. She's from Chile, but her Instagram, it's in English, so you don't have to worry. Teacup and Roses on Instagram. Now, she did a great video showing how she makes what she calls wonky fabric snippets. Or is it wonky snippets frames? Yeah, wonky snippets frames. And I decided, look, I'll try and make a few of those to use up my fabric scraps. Now, what Vilma does is she gets, iron-on interfacing, and she cut out a rectangle with a hole in the middle, and then ironed on bits of fabric and added lace and general scraps all around it. Now, you could do this in a machine, or you could do this by hand. Now, if you want to watch her video, it's on her Instagram, and if you go on her grid and you go back as far as the 26th of March, you will see her video on it, which I'm sure is going to be a lot more clearer than mine. She doesn't do any talking on it, she just points out what she's doing. Anyway, you get your frame, make your frame out of iron-on fabric, iron-on interfacing. But while I was doing them, I realised you don't really have to do that. All you have to do is sew them onto a fabric frame. Anyway, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's one I made. You can see the back where the interfacing is, or the backing. You could just use backing fabric, any fabric, I think, and maybe put a tiny bit of glue, making sure not to sew where you've put the glue so that it won't, if you're hand sewing, that's okay, but if you're sewing with a machine, I'm always terrified that the glue will get into the insides of the machine. But you could just tack down the fabric. You can see it's the long narrow strips of fabric that we usually have left over after a project, and all the little scraps of lace and trim are added all around it. And because it's a wonky fabric frame, there's no need to trim things off or be ultra careful. Now, this particular frame, excuse me while I get the ruler, is 6.5 by 6. It's roughly it's almost square, but not quite. Wait till I have a look at it again. Yes, it's nearly 7 by 6. And I'll show you later on what I did with it, or a similar one I made. So that one was mainly purple, and then I went ahead and I made a blue one. You can see I've added all the scraps, tiny bits of rickrack lace and a crochet flower, another bow I cut out of a bit of lace, and you can see it's all sewn in a bit of a crazy way all around the edge. It's wonky, it's not particularly straight, and it if you're into mathematics, you know, it wouldn't be a proper rectangle or anything like that. But a brilliant way of having fun using up your scraps. Anyway, God, what is it? Sorry about that, I had the metric part of the ruler. This one again is 6 by 7.5 roughly. Then I went on and I made some smaller ones. These are really cute. These are about 3.5 by 5. They're about the size of a night card. And if you're into using, into following along with the iCard challenge that I think is running at the moment, you could actually, you know, you could use them. You can make fabric iCards, or at least I presume you can. But, so you could put, I've cut down a journaling card, and you do it like that, sew it onto it, and have a nice little fabric framed iCard or general piece of art. The same with the bigger journaling cards like these ones, the 4 by 6 ones. Makes a lovely frame, absolutely gorgeous. You can see the little scrap of lace and the crochet on top of it. Now, I'm sure some of you are going to see where I'm going with this. I decided to incorporate the frames into the cover of a journal. So here we go. I made a few more journals, more or less in the style of the art journal for Steph's challenge. And this is the first one. You can see the frame bit here. And this is just the paper pads you can get at the range. It's kind of a honey theme. So I made the bee on my embroidery machine, and there again he's on a scrap of fabric. And these are all scraps of fabric and lace. And then the inside is lined with fabric. Now the basic cover is 2 pieces of card glued together, and just the spine, I score where the spine is, where I want the spine to go, and that's all. And I've reinforced the front of it as well with fabric. That's all. It's very easy. I actually sewed the frame, the snippets frame, onto the journal cover, and then everything, all the stitching, everything is covered by the fabric at the back. And I have another one here. This is the unicorn. I think that's the Stamperia Imagine paper. And there you can see the frame here with the little star or starfish, whatever you like, bits of lace, bits of trim. And there's that's just chain, lots and lots of chain stitch crocheted for holding in the, you know, the paper or whatever you want to put in the journal. But as I said, making a journal and then using one of the little snippets frames is a great way to use up your scraps. And also it kind of highlights the unicorn as well. Like I could have made a cover totally out of scraps, but when the paper is so lovely, it would be a shame to cover it. So there you are. Now I think that's all I have for you today. I'm sure if any of you are into making journal covers, you'll get a few ideas and you'll see how I did it. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'm just looking around to see if I had anything else. Was there anything else I had? No, I don't think there is. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Bye.